This is the ultimate guide for beginners to starting Uber Eats. All right, these are 10 must-know tips before you start driving for Uber Eats. So for the first tip, you can see in this picture right here, there are different levels of money signs, okay? So it goes from 1 to 4. Now, when I started out 6 days ago, okay? So that's how you know I am new to this. I have done 43 trips already, and it is the next week now. And I thought that the more money symbols that were in the area meant more money for me, which meant like instead of the order being $7, it would be $17. But that is not the case. Those money symbols mean that it is busier in one area. So if you have 4 in one area, that means it is super busy and you will not be waiting around as long or at all. When you are completing your order, you are, say, about to pull up and deliver your order. It will start giving you new orders to accept so you can go straight into the next one, which is amazing. I've always been in the 3 to 4 range, so I've never had to wait for orders to come in. I have always been back to back to back to back. Number 2, you have to pick the right orders or you're not going to make money. And I cannot stress that enough. The first day, I worked for a very, very long time and I drove a lot of miles. I went straight out one way and I did not come back. That means when I had to come home, I drove like 45 minutes home, ate up a ton of miles, and that eats into your profit. So when you're picking, for me, for my situation, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is a fairly busy place. I usually go to NC State, which is in the city. When I am looking at orders, when it comes up, I will do a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every dollar, there is 1 mile, okay? So if it's a $7 order and it's a 7-mile order, same thing, I will take that order. Anything above $7, yes, of course. So if it's 7 miles and anything above 7, I will take that order. If it's $7 and 14 miles, absolutely not. I am not taking that. That is not worth my time. And that will eat into your gas very quickly. Mileage is your enemy in this game. Tip number 3. So if you have ever watched TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, whatever you watch your stuff on, and you've seen people on bikes and in cars with those big bags that are lined not with tinfoil, but it's all shiny in there, and they close it up, it keeps the heat in and everything, the warming boxes, they might call them. Well, I don't have one of those, and I'm definitely not going to buy one of those. That's money I don't have. So what I do is I take a blanket, everybody's got a blanket, a towel, whatever. I put it on the seat, in case it spills or, grease gets through. It's much easier to clean a blanket or a towel than the seat. So you put it on the seat, and once you put the food on it, you cover it up, tuck it in like a little baby, and there you go. Your food is going to stay generally warm. You're not driving an hour anywhere. I hope not. You're generally driving a couple miles, a few miles here and there, which will keep it warm enough for the time being. On to number 4. And this is going to have a picture as well. And as you can see, it has not ready and issue with, I forget what it says, but it says issue down here. It is not a live, not timer or anything. It is not going to say ready when the food is ready to go and get. Okay? Once you get to the store, the food should be ready for you to walk in, grab it, and walk back out. That button is used for if you walk in and it is not ready, you press that button so that Uber themselves will know that this restaurant is slow and they are unprepared and not ready, so that they can either give time for them to be ready in the future, so they'll ding people later so that people, when they go in, it'll be ready and then they can walk back out, because in this game, time is money. Tip number 5. So as I know it, if somebody orders Uber Eats, they will have a automatic $3 tip added on to their order, okay? This is as I know it. It may be more, it may be less. I don't know. Maybe this is just in my area. When you see that $8 and 8 miles, let's say, just for show, that $8 is a $5 a base pay is what you're getting, and then $3 is that expected tip. And as you can see, it does say the expected tip is included. So just be aware of that. That is something important. You are not clicking that order and automatically getting $8. Tip number 6 goes along with number 5. For tips, they can increase or decrease your tip an hour after you have delivered the food. So let's say it's that $3. They can decrease it to $1, no dollars, or they can increase it to $8. They can be very generous. I have had people who are not as generous and people who are incredibly generous. So just be careful and, pick the right trips and everything. And if you are looking at if you have done a lot of orders in 1 hour and you're looking at your progress made up in the top and it's, $20 and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been driving forever. I'm at like 30 miles. This is terrible. Tips just have not come in yet. Don't worry. I did the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not making enough money. But I didn't realize that tips can come in an hour later. Okay. There you go. Whew. Just shake it off. It's okay. Number 7. Okay. This isn't really a tip. This is more just general. So you know. Okay. There are 3 ways to drop off food. One of them is you meet them at the door. You come up, they come out, you exchange the food, and you click complete on the order. The second way is you can just leave it at their door. The Uber app will prompt you to take a picture. Try to get the apartment number or just their address number in the picture so you are 100% that you got the right address and are delivering this to the right place. Then you can leave a little message. I always say enjoy your meal or enjoy your dinner just as a politeness, because that's what I would say if I was seeing them. And the third way is you will meet them and they will have a PIN, a 4-digit PIN code for you to enter into the app, okay? You will say the Uber app will have an enter PIN code. They will say the PIN code, you will enter it, and then you can leave. So those are the 3 ways that you can deliver the food. On to number 8. Okay, so keeping track of your time and miles. Keeping track of time is so you can see how much you've made in an hour, like hourly wage. I always love doing that. You don't necessarily have to do these tips, but it is very encouraged, just so you can see your progress. For miles, that is highly encouraged because I think it is like 67 cents to a mile tax write-off, where for every mile you get 67 cents back. So that's very important for your tax returns and, for general wear and tear on your car as well, for mileage, for oil changes as well. That is something to think about. Number 9, orders will come in right as you are about to deliver your drop off. So if you have already accepted an order and you are driving to someone's house, orders will start coming in as you approach that drop off area for your current order. Okay? And this is very annoying in my opinion, but it zooms out so you can see the broadness, like the whole route of what you might select, okay, for a new order. And if you are trying to get to someone's house, you're very close. It's not some highway. You're not going straight for miles and miles. You're in a neighborhood. You need to take a left or right, take a U-E, do all these things. And it keeps coming up, dinging, and dinging and zooming out. And you're like Xing out, zooming in to where you are. It is very annoying. And you need to be careful to not select a bad order, okay? Just to get it to go away. Because I have done that before. I was like, just go away. Oh my gosh. And I clicked and it was a bad order. It was terrible mileage, not good pay, but it was getting in my way and I literally could not get to where I needed to go because it kept zooming in and out. I needed the directions. Last but not least, you need to keep track of how much gas costs. Okay, so for reference, I drive a Nissan Xterra. It's a 2002, it's a stick shift, and I get about 250 miles to the tank. Not very much, yes, I know. Not fuel efficient, yes, I'm aware. Okay, so I calculate for every 5 miles, that equals $1, okay? This is about $50 to $55 per tank, and of course it does depend on how much gas is at the time. Right now it's about $3.15, 15 to 20 cents. And you also need to account for oil changes and car maintenance. So you need to be subtracting these elements out of your net profit of what you've made for the whole day, week, etc., whatever. Okay? Because you don't want to be calculating your net income, and when you get to the end of the month, your math isn't mathing because you forgot to subtract out those maintenance costs and gas. That would be terrible. I'd be so sad if that happened. Well, I hope this really helped you if you are looking into being an Uber driver or an Uber Eats driver. I am really enjoying it. I would definitely recommend it as a side hustle kind of thing. I don't drive enough, and I wouldn't want to drive enough to make this a full-time thing. It is a lot of driving. It's a lot of sitting in your car, a lot of music, yes. It is fun though because you get to go to a lot of cool places. I have been in a lot of fancy buildings. I've been a lot of places that I've never even seen before. So there are some good and bads. There are definitely some places that you might not want to be as well. So of course with good, there is the bad. You don't have to wait too much. As I said before, it was only about 3 restaurants out of my 43 trips that were not ready with their orders. You can generally just fly around the place. I generally work from anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, and I've been making around $73 in average, which is pretty good. And on average, for miles, I've been driving about anywhere from 50 to 100 miles. Those are, of course, it's only been 4 days, so take that with a grain of salt. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you would like to subscribe, I would very much appreciate that, and it would help out the channel. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this really helped. See you guys.